I gripped my cracked phone in my rideshare car, sweat dripping down my neck in the thick Detroit summer heat, when the Mega Millions app flashed a message that made my heart stop. Congratulations. $120M jackpot. You won. My hand started shaking so bad I almost dropped the phone. $120 million. After taxes, $62 million. More money than everyone in my family combined would see in 10 lifetimes. But before I could even process what was happening, another notification popped up. A text from Mom. Nia baby. Jamal needs $300 for new tires. His car inspection is tomorrow. Can you send it now? Love you. Not congratulations on your big win. Not how are you doing. Not even a hello. Just another bill I was expected to cover for my little brother who hadn't held a job longer than 3 months since high school. My name is Nia Jackson. I'm 33 years old, and for the last 8 years I've been driving rideshare in Detroit. 12-hour shifts, 6 days a week, taking drunk people home from bars and picking up airport runs at 4 in the morning. I've driven through ice storms and heat waves. I've dealt with passengers who threw up in my back seat and others who tried to pay me in cryptocurrency that turned out to be worthless. I've scraped and saved and sacrificed until my body ached and my eyes burned from exhaustion. And every single week, without fail, someone in my family needed money. $300 for Jamal's tires, $500 for Mom's utility bill, $200 for Dad's prescription, $400 for my sister Keisha's car payment, $1,000 for my brother-in-law Marcus when his investment opportunity fell through. I was the family ATM. Insert request. Receive cash. No questions asked. No thank yous required. I grew up in this city, in a small house off 7 Mile Road, where the porch sagged and the pipes froze every winter. We didn't have much, but we had each other. Or at least that's what Mom always said. But somewhere along the way, family became transaction. Love became debt. And I became invisible except when someone needed their account balanced. I remember being 19, working 2 jobs to save $2,000 for my first semester at Wayne State, computer science major. Full ride if I could just cover books and fees. The money disappeared from my account 3 days before classes started. Jamal had borrowed my debit card to finance his rap career. Spent it all on studio time and a music video that got 47 views on YouTube. Mom said I should be supportive. That family helps family. That education could wait, but dreams can't. I never went to college. Jamal never became a rapper. And I never forgot. Sitting in my car with that lottery notification still glowing on my screen, I felt something shift inside me. Not anger exactly. Something colder. Something that had been building for 14 years. I decided to run a test. I texted Mom back, "Hey, actually I'm in trouble. My car might get repossessed. I need $1,500 by Friday, or I lose my job. Can anyone help?" I watched the 3 dots appear and disappear, appear and disappear. Finally, a response. "Oh honey, we're tight right now. Maybe ask your uncle?" I texted the family group chat. All 15 of them. Parents, siblings, cousins, the works. Emergency. Car getting repossessed Friday. Need $1,500 or I can't work. Please help. Silence. 20 minutes of absolute silence. Then Jamal replied with a laughing emoji. "Sis really said she broke. Girl, just do extra rides, lol." Keisha chimed in. "Nia, you're so dramatic. You always figure it out." Marcus sent a gif of someone playing a tiny violin. My cousin Tanya wrote, "Can't help, babe. Just got my nails done. Try a payday loan?" Not one single person offered to help. Not one person asked if I was okay. They just laughed and dismissed and suggested I figure it out myself. My cousin Tanya wrote, "Can't help, babe. Just got my nails done. Try a payday loan?" Not one single person offered to help. Not one person asked if I was okay. They just laughed and dismissed and suggested I figure it out myself. From Uber Queen to broke meme, I said to my reflection in the rearview mirror, "That's really how they see me." I stared at my phone and laughed. Actually laughed out loud in my empty car, tears streaming down my face. This Saturday was the annual Jackson family BBQ at my parents' house. The one event every year where everyone shows up pretending we're still close, still connected, still care about each other as more than ATMs and favor banks. I'd been funding these BBQs for 3 years straight. The meat, the drinks, the rental chairs, everything. And I always got thanked last, if at all. This year was going to be different. I opened my banking app and started making moves. Real estate searches, event planning companies, a few very specific purchases that would make this the most memorable Jackson family gathering in history. Nobody knew I'd won the lottery yet. I'd claimed the prize anonymously through a trust, just like the lawyer advised. $62 million sitting in accounts my family didn't even know existed. I thought about that $2,000 Jamal took from me, how it represented months of overnight shifts at the diner and weekend cleaning jobs, how it was supposed to be my ticket to something better, how nobody cared when it disappeared except me. My phone buzzed again. Another text from Mom. Any luck with the car money? Also, can you pick up the ribs for Saturday? About $200 worth. I'll pay you back. She never paid me back. Not once in 8 years. I typed my response carefully. Yeah, Mom, I'll handle it. See you Saturday. Then I made one more call. To a towing company that specialized in dramatic removals. The kind you hire when you really want to make a statement. I need a repo truck, I said. Saturday afternoon. I'll text you the address and the vehicle description. Black Escalade with custom rims. And I need you to make it look real. Like really, really official. The guy on the other end laughed. Lady, what are you planning? I smiled at my reflection one more time. Just a little family loyalty test, with consequences. Saturday couldn't come fast enough, because the invisible fixer was about to become impossible to ignore. And this time, I wasn't paying for anything except front row seats to watch them all fall apart. Saturday arrived with that heavy Detroit summer heat that makes the air feel like you're breathing through wet cotton. I pulled up to my parents' house in my beat-up Honda Civic, the same car I'd been driving for rideshare for 6 years, watching the party already in full swing. The backyard was packed. 30 people, maybe more. Kids running through sprinklers. Adults clustered around coolers full of beer. The smell of ribs smoking on the grill mixing with someone's Bluetooth speaker blasting old-school Motown. My $800 in crypto profits had paid for all of it. The meat from Eastern Market, the drinks, the propane, the decorations, everything. Nobody knew that except me. I grabbed the envelope from my passenger seat. The bait envelope. Inside were $25 bills that looked like hundreds from a distance. Fake emergency money that would reveal exactly who my family really was. My nerves buzzed like electrical wires as I walked through the gate. This was it. The test I'd been planning all week. The moment of truth. Nia! Mom came rushing over, apron covered in barbecue sauce, pulling me into a hug that smelled like brown sugar and smoke. Baby, you made it. Did you bring the ribs I asked for? They're in the cooler, I said, gesturing to the igloo I was dragging behind me. $200 worth of baby back ribs I'd picked up this morning. You're a lifesaver, she said, already turning away to call someone over to help unload. Not thank you. Not how are you. Just, you're a lifesaver. And then moving on to the next thing. Jamal spotted me from across the yard and raised his red Solo cup in a mock salute. He was wearing a brand new Detroit Pistons jersey, designer jeans, and shoes that probably cost more than my monthly car payment. His black Escalade sat in the driveway, freshly washed and gleaming. Custom rims that cost more than I made in a month. The same car I'd helped him make payments on when he was between opportunities last year. Keisha, my sister, was on her phone taking selfies by the grill. My brother-in-law Marcus was showing off some new watch to a group of cousins. Everyone looked successful, happy, thriving, all on borrowed money they'd never paid back. I took a deep breath and walked to the center of the yard. Turned down the music. Cleared my throat loud enough that people started looking. Hey everyone, I hate to kill the vibe, but I need to say something, I announced, my voice shaking just enough to sound desperate. My car's getting repossessed tomorrow. I need $1,500, or I lose my job. I lose everything. The yard went quiet for about 3 seconds. Then Jamal started laughing. Not a polite chuckle. A full belly laugh that made other people join in. Sis, are you serious right now? He wiped tears from his eyes. You're out here begging at the cookout? Just get a real job. The words hit like a slap. Get a real job. From the man whose real jobs lasted weeks before he quit or got fired. Real like your crypto scams? I shot back, keeping my voice light but pointed. The ones where you lost $3,000 of investor money last month? Awkward chuckles rippled through the crowd. Jamal's smile faltered, but he recovered quick. That was a market correction, he said, puffing up. You wouldn't understand. You just drive people around. Mom appeared at my elbow, squeezing my arm in that way that meant be quiet and don't embarrass us. Nia, honey, you always handle things, she said, her voice low. Can we talk about this later? Jamal's about to announce that Keisha's pregnant. They're starting a family. This is important. Starting a family. That was important. But my car getting repossessed? That could wait. I felt that old familiar ache in my chest. The one I'd carried since I was 19. The weight of being the responsible one, the reliable one, the one who could always figure it out. Right, I said quietly. I'll handle it. That's my girl. Mom patted my arm and walked away. I stood there holding my fake emergency envelope, feeling invisible in the middle of 30 people who were supposed to be my family. Not one person had offered help. Not one person had even asked if I was okay. That's when I saw Keisha's new wife, Shanice, eyeing my envelope. She'd married into the family 6 months ago and already learned the Jackson way. Take what you can get while you can get it. She sidled up to me, all fake concern and practiced sympathy. Girl, I heard what you said about the car, Shanice said, her eyes locked on the envelope in my hand. That's rough. Real rough. Yeah, I said, watching her watch the money. You know, Jamal and Keisha are about to have a baby. Money's tight for everybody. She stepped closer, her voice dropping. But if you had any extra in that envelope, we could really use it. For the baby. Medical bills and stuff. I looked at this woman I barely knew, who'd never done a single thing for me, asking to take my emergency money for a pregnancy that hadn't even been announced yet. How much do you need? I asked, keeping my face neutral. Whatever you can spare. Her hand was already reaching for the envelope. I hesitated just long enough to make it look real. Then I pulled out 5 of the fake hundreds, keeping them folded so she couldn't see clearly. 500, I said. It's all I have left after buying the ribs. Shanice snatched those bills so fast her nails scratched my palm. Bless you, Nia. Bless you. We'll pay you back, I promise. She didn't promise. She just turned and walked away, already counting money that wasn't real. But the tracking app on my phone showed exactly where she was. The tiny RFID chip I'd embedded in those fake bills would show me exactly where they ended up. I pulled out my phone and opened the tracking software I'd installed yesterday. A little red dot appeared on the map, moving toward the house. My niece Maya, Keisha's 16-year-old daughter from her first marriage, appeared at my side. She was the quiet one, the one who noticed things other people missed. Aunt Nia, she whispered. I saw what just happened. That was messed up. It's fine, Maya. I'm used to it. You shouldn't be. She looked around to make sure nobody was listening. I have something I need to show you. Something I found on Grandma's old phone. She pulled out a phone I recognized. Mom's old iPhone, the one I'd bought her 2 years ago before she upgraded and gave this one to Maya. I was going through old voicemails, Maya continued, her voice shaking. There's like 20 messages from you, from over the years. All of them asking for help that nobody returned. All of them ignored. My stomach dropped. I'd forgotten about those messages. Desperate voicemails I'd left when I was struggling, when I needed support, when I was drowning and needed someone to throw me a rope. Nobody ever called back. Can I play them? Maya asked. At the party? On the speaker? I looked at this 16-year-old girl who was already learning that family wasn't always what it pretended to be. Not yet, I said. But soon. I promise. That's when I heard the sound that would change everything. The deep rumble of a diesel engine, air brakes hissing. The mechanical whine of a tow truck backing up the driveway. Right on schedule. The repo truck had arrived. The music cut off mid-song as the diesel engine rumbled louder. Everyone turned toward the driveway where a massive red tow truck was backing up, its yellow warning lights flashing like a disco ball of doom. I pulled out my phone and opened TikTok. Hit the live button. positioned the camera to capture everything. "Hey everyone, welcome to the Jackson Loyalty Challenge," I said into the camera, my voice steady as stone. "You're about to watch a family discover what loyalty really costs. Buckle up." Within 30 seconds, I had 200 viewers, then 1,000, then 3,000. The comments started rolling in faster than I could read them. "What's happening? Is this real? Girl, your family about to get exposed." Maya appeared at my side, her own phone out. She'd synced to my live stream and was filming from a different angle. My quiet niece was turning into a whole production crew. "Girl, your family about to get exposed. Girl, your family about to get exposed. Girl, your family about to get exposed." "Hey Mom, it's Nia. I know it's late, but I just got a $500 overdraft fee and my lights are getting shut off tomorrow. I don't know what to do. Can someone please call me back? Please?" The party froze. Every single person stopped moving like someone had hit pause on reality. Another voicemail played. This one from 2 years ago. "Dad, it's me again. My car broke down and the repair is $1,200. I've been calling everyone for 2 days. Nobody's answering. I need help. I'm scared I'm going to lose my job." Then another. And another. 5 voicemails total. All of them me begging for help. All of them ignored. The TikTok live chat exploded. They didn't help her? This family is trash. I'm crying at work right now. Mom's face went pale. Dad looked like he'd been slapped. Keisha started scrolling through her phone frantically, probably trying to remember if she'd ever called me back. She hadn't. Jamal stepped forward, his face red with embarrassment and anger. "Nia, what are you doing? This is family business. You can't just..." He took a step backward, and his foot hit a puddle of spilled barbecue sauce. His legs went out from under him, and he landed flat on his back, his pristine white Pistons jersey now covered in brown sauce and grass stains. "King of spills," I said, deadpan into the camera. "That's what happens when you slip on your own BS." The TikTok comments went wild. 5,000 viewers became 8,000. Someone gifted me 50 roses. The algorithm was eating this up. But I wasn't done. Not even close. Standing there watching my brother scramble to his feet, sauce dripping from his designer jersey, I felt every single sacrifice I'd made come flooding back. The rideshare shifts I'd worked until 4 in the morning. The meals I'd skipped to send someone money for their electricity. The birthdays and holidays I'd spent alone because I was too exhausted or too broke to join celebrations I'd helped fund. $10,000. That's what I'd calculated last week. $10,000 I'd given to this family over 8 years in emergency loans that were never repaid. Money they spent on vacations and clothes and cars while I drove strangers around Detroit in a vehicle held together by duct tape and prayers. My nights had funded their days. My exhaustion had funded their comfort. My invisibility had funded their visibility. And when I asked for $1,500, they laughed. That's when the repo truck driver stepped out of his cab. He was a big dude, probably 6'4", wearing a bright yellow safety vest and carrying a clipboard that looked official as a court summons. "I'm looking for a Jamal Jackson," he called out, his voice loud enough to carry over the confused murmuring. "Black Escalade, plates ending in 742. I got an order to repossess this vehicle for non-payment." Jamal's face went from red to gray in about 2 seconds. "What? No. That's not. I'm current on my payments. According to this," the driver tapped his clipboard, "you're 4 months behind. $12,000 in arrears. Vehicles being repossessed today." $12,000? Mom's voice cracked. "Jamal, baby, what's he talking about?" The TikTok live had hit 15,000 viewers. People were screen recording, sharing. This was going viral in real time, and my family had no idea they were the stars of the internet's newest drama. Jamal pulled out his phone, scrolling frantically. "This is a mistake. This has to be a mistake. I paid." He stopped, his face going slack. "Oh, no." "What?" Keisha rushed over. "What is it?" "I missed the payments," he whispered, but the speaker picked it up anyway. "I used that money for the crypto investment, the one that was supposed to triple in a month. I was going to pay it all back plus extra. But the coins tanked and..." "You did what?" Keisha's voice went up 3 octaves. "You gambled our car payment on cryptocurrency?" The tow truck driver was already hooking chains to the Escalade's front axle. The mechanical whine of the winch echoed through the neighborhood like a funeral dirge. 20,000 TikTok viewers watched Jamal Jackson's perfect life get literally towed away in front of his entire family. "Stop! Please stop!" Jamal ran toward the truck, but the driver held up a hand. "Sir, I need you to step back. This is a legal repossession. You got a problem. Call the finance company. I can get the money. I can fix this." Jamal's voice was desperate now, all his swagger gone. Nia, please. You have that emergency money. The $1,500. I'll pay you back double, I swear." The same brother who'd laughed at me 30 minutes ago was now begging me for help while 25,000 people watched online. I looked directly into my phone camera. "Chat, should I help him?" The same brother who said I needed to get a real job? The one who took my college money for a rap career that never happened? The comments were unanimous. A wall of NO scrolling faster than I could track. "Here's the thing, Jamal," I said, walking closer so he could hear me over the truck's engine. "I don't have $1,500. You know why? Because I spent it all on the ribs for this party. The ribs nobody thanked me for. The party nobody offered to help pay for." The Escalade's front wheels lifted off the ground. In about 60 seconds, it would be gone. Mom grabbed my arm. "Nia, baby, please. He's your brother. We're family." I looked at her hand on my arm. The same hand that never reached out when I needed help. The same hand that never dialed my number when I left those desperate voicemails. Family helps family, right, Mom? My voice was cold as January in Detroit. That's what you always say. So where was my family when I needed help? The TikTok live hit 30,000 viewers. And the truth was just getting started. The Escalade disappeared down the street on the back of the tow truck, taking Jamal's ego with it. 35,000 people were watching the Jackson family implode in high definition, and I was just getting warmed up. I grabbed Mom's Bluetooth microphone from the speaker stand, the same one they'd been using to announce toasts and play music. Now it was mine. "Let's talk about loyalty," I said into the mic, my voice echoing across the backyard and streaming to 40,000 viewers. "Let's talk about this house we're standing in. The one that's been in the Jackson family for 30 years. Dad's face went white. "Nia, don't. The house that's currently 90 days behind on mortgage payments," I continued, watching everyone's reactions. "The house that's scheduled for foreclosure auction next Friday. The house that's about to be lost forever because someone gambled the payment money on bad crypto investments." The yard erupted in shocked gasps and whispered conversations. Apparently, not everyone knew the family was about to be homeless. "That's private information," Dad yelled, stepping toward me. "You got no right to." "I have every right," I shot back. "Especially since I've been paying $1,200 a month toward that mortgage for the past 18 months. Quietly, secretly. Because family helps family, right?" Mom's knees buckled. Keisha caught her before she hit the ground. The TikTok comments went absolutely nuclear. She was paying their mortgage? This family is sick. Aunt Nia is a whole queen. Jamal pushed through the crowd, sauce still dripping from his jersey, desperation written all over his face. Okay, I messed up. I took a loan against the house for what I thought was a guaranteed crypto flip. It wasn't, but I was trying to make money for all of us. For all of us? I laughed, and it came out bitter as burnt coffee. You mean for you, just like the car payments were for you, just like my college fund was for you, just like everything has always been about you. That's when Shanice, Jamal's wife, stepped forward. She'd been quiet this whole time, standing in the back, probably hoping nobody would notice her. She was clutching something in her hand. The envelope. My fake emergency money. "I can help," she said, her voice shaking. "Nia gave me $500 earlier, for the baby. But the family needs it more. We can use this toward the mortgage." She opened the envelope with a flourish, ready to be the hero of the moment. The bills scattered in the breeze. Fake hundreds that up close were clearly marked motion picture use only in tiny letters across Benjamin Franklin's face. Shanice stared at the fake money like it had personally betrayed her. The backyard went dead silent except for the TikTok notification sounds pinging off multiple phones. "Bling bust," I said into the mic, deadpan. That's what happens when you snatch emergency money from someone you've never helped. The viewers hit 50,000. Someone sent a cascade of roses worth actual money. The algorithm had decided the Jackson family drama was premium content. Shanice's face went from confused to furious to absolutely mortified in about 5 seconds. She dropped the fake bills and ran into the house, probably to pack her things and leave Jamal forever. Good for her, honestly. Maya stepped up beside me, her own phone still recording. "Can I say something?" she asked quietly. I handed her the microphone. My 16-year-old niece looked at the camera, then at her family, tears streaming down her face. "I've been invisible too," she said, her voice barely above a whisper, but the mic picked up every word. "When I got into Northwestern with a full scholarship last month, nobody came to my celebration dinner. When I asked for help buying a laptop for school, everyone said they were broke. But I see the new cars, the new clothes, the vacations." She looked directly at her mother. "I see everything, Mom. I see how Aunt Nia gets treated, and I'm tired of pretending it's okay." Keisha started crying. Real tears, not the performative kind. "Baby, I didn't know you felt." "You didn't ask," Maya interrupted. "Nobody asks. They just take." The TikTok comments were flooded with people sharing their own stories. Thousands of invisible fixers and overlooked family members finding their voice in Maya's words. I felt something shift in my chest. This wasn't just about my pain anymore. It was about everyone who'd ever been treated like an ATM instead of a person. That's when my phone buzzed with a notification from the real estate auction app I'd been monitoring all week. The house, the one we were standing in. The foreclosure auction had just gone live. I opened the app and watched bids start rolling in. 200,000, 210, 220. Investors circling like vultures over my family's home. I'd already set up my anonymous LLC earlier this week. Already had the funds transferred and ready. All I had to do was bid. My finger hovered over the screen. "What's that?" Mom asked, trying to see my phone. "Nia, what are you looking at?" "The auction," I said simply. "For this house. It's happening right now. Live. Whoever bids highest in the next 5 minutes owns everything you've built for 30 years. Dad lunged for my phone, but I stepped back. "Don't even think about it." The bids climbed. 230, 240, 245. I entered my bid. $250,000. The minimum needed to clear the debt and cover the bank's fees. Not a penny more. The app processed for what felt like an hour, but was probably 3 seconds. Then a confirmation screen appeared. "Congratulations, auction won. Property deed transfer pending." I turned my phone screen toward the camera so all 55,000 viewers could see it. Then I turned it toward my family. "I just bought your house," I said, my voice steady as concrete. "It's mine now. Legally, officially. The deed transfers in 72 hours. The backyard erupted in chaos. Mom screaming, Dad cursing, Jamal looking like he might pass out. Keisha on the phone frantically calling someone, probably a lawyer who couldn't help. The TikTok live hit 70,000 viewers. And I hadn't even revealed the lottery win yet. That bombshell was still to come. I pulled out a stack of papers from my bag. Legal documents I'd had drawn up by a real estate attorney 3 days ago, when I was still deciding if I had the courage to go through with all of this. "Here's how this works," I said into the microphone, my voice carrying across the silent backyard and streaming to 80,000 viewers. "You can stay in this house, the house I now legally own, but you're going to pay for the privilege." Dad stepped forward, his face twisted in confusion and anger. "Pay? Nia, this is our home. You can't just—" $1,500, I interrupted. "Each of you. Mom, Dad, Jamal, Keisha. $1,500 per person to buy shares in the property. The exact amount I asked you for when my car was getting repossessed." The irony hung in the air thick as Detroit humidity. "That's $6,000 total," Mom calculated, her voice shaking. "We don't have that kind of money right now." "Funny how that works," I said. "When I needed $1,500, y'all were broke. Now that you need it, suddenly I'm supposed to understand?" Jamal's face went red. "This is blackmail. This is illegal. It's called capitalism, brother. I bought property at auction. Now I'm offering you shares at a very generous price. You don't want them? Fine. Be out by Monday. I handed the papers to Dad. His hands shook as he read the terms. Mom looked over his shoulder, tears streaming down her face. The TikTok live chat was moving so fast it was just a blur of emojis in capital letters. 90,000 viewers now. This was trending nationwide. And if we pay the $1,500? Dad asked quietly. What then? Then you get to stay. As tenants. $5 per month rent. $5? Keisha's voice was barely audible. That's nothing. It's everything, I corrected. It's a reminder every single month that this isn't your house anymore, that the invisible ATM sister you laughed at owns the roof over your head. That loyalty has a price and you couldn't afford to pay it when it mattered. Jamal grabbed the papers from Dad. I'm not signing this. This is insane. You're my sister. How can you do this to family? How could you do what you did to me? I shot back. You want to talk about family? Let's talk about the $5,000 you took from me when I was 18. His face went pale. Oh, you thought I forgot? I pulled up my phone, opened my notes app where I'd been documenting every loan, every theft, every betrayal for years. $5,000 I saved working at McDonald's and doing hair on weekends. Money I was going to use to buy my first car so I could start rideshare driving. I showed the camera my detailed records, dates, amounts, text message screenshots going back over a decade. You said you needed it for a business opportunity. A clothing line that was going to make us all rich. Remember that, Jamal? Remember crying in my bedroom saying you'd pay me back in 3 months? I was going to. It's been 15 years, my voice cracked. 15 years and you never paid back a dime. That $5,000 was supposed to be my seed money. Instead, I had to take out a predatory car loan at 23% interest that took me 4 years to pay off. The viewers hit 100,000. Major news outlets were starting to pick up the stream. This wasn't just viral anymore. This was national. Mom tried to hand me her phone. Nia, baby, I can Venmo you right now. I can. She tried to open her banking app. The screen showed insufficient funds. Declined, I said, taking the mic again. Just like my requests for help were declined. Funny how that comes around. She tried to open her banking app. The screen showed insufficient funds. But beneath the satisfaction, I felt something else. That old wound from being 18 and watching my savings disappear. The girl who'd worked doubles at McDonald's, who'd braided hair in her bedroom until her fingers cramped, who'd dreamed of something better than bus passes and borrowed rides. Jamal had taken that dream and gambled it on silkscreen t-shirts that never got made. Jamal had taken that dream and gambled it on silkscreen t-shirts that never got made. We don't have it, Mom sobbed. We don't have that money. Where are we supposed to get $6,000 in 3 days? I don't know, Mom. Figure it out. That's what you always told me, right? Just figure it out? Dad picked up a pen. His hand hovered over the signature line like he was signing away his soul instead of his pride. If we sign this, he said slowly, we stay for $5 a month? Until I decide otherwise, I confirmed. This is my property. My rules. You follow them, or you leave. And if we don't sign, then I rent it to someone else. There's a waiting list of people who'd love to live in a fully paid-off house in this neighborhood. People who'd appreciate what they have. The pen touched paper. Dad's signature formed slowly, each letter a small surrender. Mom signed next, her tears making the ink run slightly. Keisha grabbed the pen and signed without even reading the full document. Then it was Jamal's turn. He stared at that paper like it was a death warrant. His hands balled into fists. His jaw clenched so tight I could hear his teeth grinding. Sign it or leave, Jamal, I said. Those are your only choices. 120,000 people watched him pick up that pen. 120,000 people watched the golden child of the Jackson family sign away his claim to the house he thought would always be his. The live stream exploded with reactions. Hearts and fire emojis and comments moving faster than light. But I wasn't done yet, because they still didn't know about the lottery. And when I told them everything was going to change again, my phone started buzzing like it was possessed. DMs flooding in faster than I could count. Family members who'd been silent when I needed help suddenly had plenty to say now that I owned their house. Nia, I'm so sorry, I should have been there for you. We were wrong. Please forgive us. You're right about everything. We took you for granted. All of it hollow. All of it too late. All of it typed with trembling fingers by people who just realized the invisible sister had all the power. I held the line, didn't respond to a single message. Let them sit in that silence the way I'd sat in mine for 15 years. The TikTok live had hit 150,000 viewers. News vans were probably already heading to the neighborhood. This was the kind of story that would run for days. Mom stepped in front of the camera, her makeup ruined by tears, her hands clasped like she was praying. Nia, baby, everyone watching, we were wrong. So wrong. Dad joined her, his arm around her shoulders. They looked older somehow, smaller, like the weight of their choices had finally caught up to them. Our daughter saved us, Dad said, his voice cracking. For years, she saved us. Paid our bills, kept our lights on, kept a roof over our heads. And we didn't even notice. We didn't even say thank you. We took and took and took, Mom continued. And when she needed us for once, we laughed. We made jokes. We told her to figure it out. The TikTok comments shifted. Less anger now. More empathy. People were crying at their screens across the country. But I wasn't ready for forgiveness yet. Because they still didn't know the biggest secret. Jamal appeared from inside the house, changed out of his sauce-covered jersey into regular clothes. He looked defeated in a way I'd never seen before. I downloaded the rideshare app, he said quietly. Like you said, got approved. Did my first shift last night after we all signed those papers? How'd it go? I asked, genuinely curious. 4 hours. Made $83 before gas. Picked up a group of college kids who were drunk and singing terrible karaoke in my back seat. He laughed, but it was bitter. From boss to back seat. That's my life now. That's called honest work, I said. Welcome to how the rest of us live. I know, he said. And for the first time maybe ever, he sounded humble. I know that now. Maya stepped up beside me again, her phone still recording. Aunt Nia, can I ask you something? On camera? Go ahead. What are you going to do with the house? Now that it's yours? I'd been waiting for this question, planning this answer since the moment I bought that lottery ticket. I'm turning it into a youth financial literacy center, I said, looking directly at the camera. A place where kids from this neighborhood can learn about money, investing, budgeting, everything the schools don't teach them, everything our parents didn't teach us. The live stream chat exploded with hearts and crying emojis. Kids like Maya who got into Northwestern but don't know how to navigate financial aid. Kids who've been taught that family means sacrificing everything until you have nothing left. Kids who need to learn that you can love your family and still have boundaries. Mom let out a sob that sounded like it came from somewhere deep and broken. The living room becomes a classroom, I continued. The dining room becomes a computer lab. The backyard becomes a community garden, where kids learn about sustainable living and self-sufficiency. And us? Dad asked. Where do we fit in this plan? You stay, I said simply. For $5 a month. But there are rules. I pulled out another document, terms and conditions I'd written at 3 a.m. when I couldn't sleep. Family therapy. Every week. All of us. With a licensed therapist who specializes in financial abuse and codependency. Dr. Freeman on Grand River. I already made the first appointment for Tuesday. Financial abuse? Keisha's voice was small. Is that what we did? You made me feel like love was transactional, I said. Like my value was measured in how much money I could provide. You taught me that I only mattered when I was useful. Yeah, Keisha. That's financial abuse. We'll go, Mom said immediately. We'll do whatever it takes. Financial abuse? Keisha's voice was small. Is that what we did? What if we can't? Dad asked. Then you learn. That's what the center is for. Financial literacy isn't just for kids. It's for adults who never learned how to manage money without using other people as safety nets. The viewer count hit 200,000. Clips from the live stream were already going viral on other platforms. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. The Jackson family drama was trending worldwide. Maya cleared her throat. I want to help. With the center, I want to teach workshops about college applications and financial aid, about finding scholarships nobody tells you about. You're hired, I said, pulling her into a hug. First employee of the Jackson Financial Literacy Center. What about me? Jamal asked. Can I help too? After work, I mean. I don't know much, but I know what not to do. Maybe that's worth something. I looked at my brother. The golden child who'd finally tarnished. The king who'd learned humility through repossession and honest work. Tell your story, I said. About the bad investments, the crypto scams, the gambling. Help other young men avoid the mistakes you made. That's how you help. He nodded, tears finally breaking through his tough exterior. There's one more thing, I said, turning back to Maya. We need a special chair. A permanent installation in the center. The invisible fixer chair. What's that? She asked. It's for people who've been the family ATM. The ones who give until they disappear. Once a month, someone sits in that chair and shares their story. We see them. We honor them. We remind them they matter beyond what they can provide. The comment section became a wall of people volunteering to sit in that chair. Thousands of invisible fixers finally being seen. The Jackson Loyalty Challenge had become something bigger than revenge. It had become healing. 3 weeks later, I stood in the same backyard where everything had exploded. But this time, the atmosphere felt completely different. The space had been transformed. Folding tables lined the yard, each one covered with laptops and tablets displaying financial literacy apps. 25 kids from the neighborhood sat in donated chairs, notebooks open, eyes bright with curiosity. This was the grand opening of the Jackson Financial Literacy Center. And my family was about to help me teach the first workshop. The TikTok was still live. Not the same stream from the BBQ that one had ended at 1.2 million views and become the most viral family drama of the year. But I'd promised followers I'd show them what came next. 50,000 people were watching the redemption arc in real time. Mom and Dad walked out of the house carrying boxes of printed materials. Budget worksheets, investment guides, resources for teens who'd never had anyone teach them about compound interest or credit scores. They moved carefully, like people learning a new language, humble in a way I'd never seen before. Welcome, everyone, I said into the microphone, addressing both the kids in front of me and the thousands watching online. My name is Nia Jackson. 3 weeks ago, I won $120 million in the lottery. The kids gasped. The live stream chat exploded. Wait, what? Jamal's voice came from behind me. You won the lottery? When? The day before the barbecue, I said, turning to face my family who all looked like I'd just spoken ancient Greek. The day I texted asking for $1,500. I had $62 million in the bank and wanted to see if y'all would help me anyway. Mom's hand went to her mouth. Dad sat down hard on a folding chair. Keisha just stared at me like I'd grown a second head. You had $62 million, Jamal repeated slowly. And you still made me sign those papers? Still made us pay $1,500 each? Yes, I said simply. Because the test wasn't about money. It was about loyalty. About whether you'd help me when you thought I had nothing. And you failed. Spectacularly. The silence that followed was heavier than the Detroit summer air. Then Jamal started laughing. Not the mocking laugh from before. Something different. Something that sounded almost like relief. We really are the worst family ever, he said, shaking his head. You win the lottery and we can't even spare $1,500 to help you. But you're trying now, I said. That's why we're here. Why this center exists. To teach people, including us, how to build real wealth and real relationships that aren't based on transactions. Mom stepped forward to demonstrate the budget app I'd helped develop. Her hands shook as she pulled it up on the tablet. Okay, so you enter your income here, she explained to the kids, and your expenses here, and it shows you. The app crashed. Blue screen of death. Complete tech failure in front of 50,000 viewers. Okay, so you enter your income here, she explained to the kids, and your expenses here, and it shows you. Even our apps need therapy, I joked, restarting the tablet. But that's okay. We all crash sometimes. The important thing is learning how to reboot. The second demonstration went smoothly. Kids leaned in, asking questions, taking notes. These were children who'd grown up like I did, watching adults struggle with money, learning bad habits, never being taught there was a better way. After the workshop ended, I stood with Maya by a chair we'd set up in the corner of the yard. It was a beautiful wooden seat, handcrafted by a local artist, with a brass plate on the back. The invisible fixer chair, Maya read aloud, for those who give without being seen. I want you to be the first person to officially sit in it, I said. Not as a workshop leader, as someone who knows what it means to be overlooked while everyone else gets celebrated. She sat down slowly, running her hands along the armrests. What do I do? Tell your story. Every month, someone different will sit here and share their experience of being the family ATM, the scholarship kid nobody celebrated, the responsible one who never got credit. We see them. We honor them. We remind them they matter. Maya's voice shook as she began. I got into Northwestern with a full ride. Worked 2 jobs to save money for a laptop. My family forgot to come to my signing day. When I asked for help, everyone said they were broke, but I saw the new clothes, the vacation photos. I just wasn't a priority. Her words echoed my own experience so perfectly it hurt. But thousands of comments flooded in from people who understood, who'd lived the same story. We weren't alone anymore. Over the next hour, my family sat with those kids and taught them everything we'd learned the hard way. Jamal talked about his crypto disasters, how he'd lost the house payment chasing get-rich-quick schemes. Keisha opened up about credit card debt that had spiraled out of control. Dad shared his regrets about never learning to save. And Mom, my mom who'd always been so concerned with appearances, told 25 teenagers that she'd been so focused on looking successful that she'd forgotten to actually be successful. The vulnerability was raw, real, the kind that only comes after everything falls apart and you're forced to rebuild from truth instead of lies. As the sun started setting over Detroit, turning the sky orange and purple like a bruise healing, I looked at the live stream one last time. 1 million viewers had watched the Jackson family transform from drama to redemption, from transaction to connection, from revenge to something that looked almost like love. This is Nia Jackson signing off, I said into the camera. If you're out there being your family's ATM, remember this. You can love people and still have boundaries. You can help without sacrificing yourself. You can be loyal without being used. I looked at my family imperfect, broken, trying, and sometimes, I continued, the best revenge isn't destruction. It's transformation. Turning pain into purpose. Turning betrayal into a blueprint for something better. The $62 million I'd won wasn't just changing my life. It was seeding change throughout the community, funding workshops, providing scholarships, teaching financial literacy to kids who deserved better than the cycle of poverty and poor choices. Maya stood beside me, her hand in mine. My niece. My ally. My proof that the next generation could learn from our mistakes. Chosen loyalty wins, I said, looking at the camera one last time. Always. The live stream ended at 1.8 million views. But the real work? That was just beginning. And this time, my family wasn't just taking from me. They were building with me. That made all the difference.